So if you clicked on this video, then chances are you might be a FNaF fan that is ultimately offended by the blatant claims I am making in the title and thumbnail, and are now ready to rush down into the comments to call me a FNaF hater, that I'm a piece of shit or whatever. But I recommend you don't do that, because you'll only end up just proving the point I'm going to be making in this video. So instead, I encourage you to just sit down and join me on this journey. Hi, I'm Gold Pikmin and welcome to my walk and talk. It's a video where I'm going to be talking to you as I walk around my neighborhood, because as of where I am, this is literally the quietest place I can get, and it's going to be animated for you because I'm not going to be recording myself because I need to be aware of my surroundings. So you probably saw the title and thumbnail about how I don't exactly have the exact version planned out yet, but chances are it's going to say something about how FNaF fans are really the problem and not any of the content. Now, I understand that is a very bold claim to make, but if you just sit down, you'll probably understand what I'm actually referring to. So I'm sure I don't have to try very hard to explain to you that, well, very recently, a lot of FNaF related content is generally being met with a lot of criticism and causing, well, a good bit of drama. Now, I just want to kind of go over, as an observer of a lot of this, what my general opinion of all this going down really stems from. To begin with, I'm just going to start with an experience I had with a very, shall we say, devoted FNaF fan who has commented on one of my videos before, namely the one I made about FNaF AR not truly being dead. I don't exactly have the exact things pulled up, mainly because I don't care enough, but basically what this guy said was something along the lines of, even if Illumix is still doing minor things in the game while they're working on something in the background, they still need to be updating it every month with new stuff to keep it alive. And the fact that they're not doing it means that they don't care, that's the case, the game is dead, blah blah blah. Something of that nature, basically. And my initial response was something along the lines of, that's not the point I was trying to make. I never said that Illumix was top tier devs, because apparently they thought that that's what I was trying to say. And I definitely never said that there weren't any issues, because apparently they thought I was saying that as well. I agree that there are indeed communication issues that Illumix could handle better. But what I really pressed this guy on was, anyone who stopped playing the game solely because it wasn't being updated anymore would only have done so because of two reasons. One, they already have everything they can get in the game, all the skins, all the animatronics, just all of it. Or two, they never cared about the game to begin with. And I followed that up by telling him, if people really only need the game to be updated just for the sake of it to play it, then they never cared about the game to begin with, and they have very little ground to stand on to actually make calls on the game being dead. Now, what did this guy do in response to me pressing him on this very reasonable thought process? Well, let me tell you, nothing. When I pressed him on the situation, very much proving to him that he missed the entire point of what I was saying, he said nothing. And for wasting my time, I just deleted the comment and blocked him from my channel. Now, granted, this is one example, so allow me to bring up something else. The general reception of the newest mainstream game, Security Breach. Now, a lot of people were very quick to tear this game apart, and the reasons for doing so were, well, among some things, the game's general tendency to have glitches here and there. Granted, yes, a game having glitches can be a little frustrating, but there are more reasonable ways to handle this. You shouldn't just tear it apart and instantly call it shit. If you want the game to be good, then you should try and reach out to the devs and establish a professional, constructive communication and express what you believe needs to be addressed. And probably because of the people that knew how to do this, Steelwool has since fixed many of the problems that the game has had before, and made many improvements since. Though the general criticism of Security Breach that I wanted to address isn't actually about the glitches, but it's about people saying that the game ruined FNaF by abandoning being scary altogether and aiming towards more of a kid's audience. Now, I'm gonna be completely real with you. I don't know how many of these people that are saying this actually bothered playing the game. As someone who has played Security Breach to the full, last part of which is still waiting to be uploaded for some goddamn reason, I can safely say that there are parts of this game that are still very much scary and will make your blood rush. And as for the kid-friendly aspect, I don't think these people got to the parts where people very much die. Everyone knows at this point that the final boss of Security Breach is against William's revived body, which is a literal decaying human body. Whoever is saying this game abandoned being scary and is for kids, mainly the for kids part is what I'm talking about here, they're just very stupid. Maybe while playing Security Breach you're not sweating 100% of the time, which I guess fair if you want that. It can be a little bit of a takeaway, but saying this game is not scary at all is a bit narrow-minded, and saying it's for kids is definitely just dumb. Next thing I want to talk about is just the general fanverse situation, mainly the whole sort of propaganda issue that's kind of going around. Basically, one of the biggest issues going on with the fanverse nowadays is that, well, news YouTubers who were making very propaganda titles saying, oh, the fanverse has failed. Many have done it. Fanverse dev Kane Carter for the Pop Goes series has made a tweet regarding this issue, how the fanverse has many positive things going on, yet people are still quick to label it a failure at every single turn. And chances are the people doing this are the ones who are fans of the YouTubers that are making the propaganda saying it's failed for no reason despite these things. Many of the issues resulting around criticism and controversy, while yes, sometimes are valid, I'm not saying there was never any situation that was bad and didn't call for a slight uproar. A solid 99% of the complaints going on in this community is just the result of really dumb people who are just so hard-headed and don't know how to not take literally everything as serious as a national emergency. People who, despite calling themselves FNaF fans, probably are not actually very well-seasoned FNaF fans. They believe in what they quote-unquote know from their quote-unquote experience, which you are likely to quickly deduce is not very much. And they believe in it so hard that they will charge into any room like they own it, make their point, but when you, someone who probably actually has much more experience, presses them on the matter for any reasoning behind these thoughts, they either don't say anything, dodge the question, or give you things that they believe is an actual explanation but is really absolutely not. They will believe in what they know more regardless of your experience and evidence because they are them and they are apparently God's gift to the FNaF community. And because negativity gets attention, these special little snowflakes are the only ones you really get to hear about along with their complaints. So this is the reasoning behind the very bold acclaim that I am making in my title and thumbnail, because what I am saying is technically the truth, and why fans is probably in quotation marks, because the people that are causing the problems are not people who are actual fans of FNaF, but rather people who claim to be, but don't know jack shit. Okay, cut off joke aside, if you were able to bear with me during all of that, then thank you. Especially if you are a FNaF fan with an actual brain in your head who actually bothers to try out the content and is able to discern the good from the bad rather than just see an inch of bad and assume it all is. In other words, a healthy FNaF fan. I have no doubt that by making this video, I'm gonna get these toxic FNaF fans rampaging into my comment section, claiming that I am a disgrace to the community or something, that I've missed some kind of point, and that they are still somehow right in all of this. And by doing that, they are ultimately proving that what I made this video for is 100% right. Since this was a walk-in talk and I didn't really go in with a script, this was more of things I wanted to say off the top of my brain and from my heart, rather than a full hyper-analysis from every angle of the situation. But I still wanted to record this to get these feelings off my chest and just to express my opinion of what is really wrong with what's going on right now. And if you were able to stick around with me to listen to me say that, then just thank you for that.